evening, YouTube friends and family. Hope everyone's doing well. It's been a minute. Actually, the video I uploaded earlier today, I recorded a month ago. And it was sitting there in my phone waiting to be uploaded. It's been a little crazy. I've been pretty busy. Just a lot going on. Wow, where to start? When I did the last video, I think I had 4 trucks in the shop for a variety of reasons. The one I'm sitting in now is truck number 670. This one was one of them. It was in the shop primarily because it was in mothballs and we were trying to get it ready for the road. It's pretty close. I think next week we'll go ahead and send our money off and order its apportion tags and IFTA stickers. But this one was a process. It had been parked. It had been parked for about a year, and when we parked it, it was primarily due to the oil price war and the pandemic. You know, the rates for these trucks went down dramatically. We used to bill anywhere between 85 and 95 an hour for these things, and you know, on a weekly basis, we'd get 100 hours out of them, easy. That was a typical week. But then when everything dropped and the rate went down to like 60 bucks an hour, 50 bucks an hour in some cases, it made no sense. So we parked them, and this one sat at the yard for about a year. It was covered in dust. Plus it was, you know, it was dirty when we parked it. You know, not to say that the driver was dirty, but you know, you're in and out of it. You end up with a little bit of oil in it, whatever. And so I've spent some time cleaning it up. Did quite a bit of stuff to it. Lots of suspension work, which is typical for trucks that are in the oil field, because they're off-road. And so everything from shocks, cab mounts, suspension components, 3-axle alignment, yada yada yada, plus a bunch of time inside, you know, by me, cleaning, scrubbing, that kind of thing. It's pretty livable now. I've been actually staying in this truck the last few nights. One of the issues it had was an emissions issue. It would constantly ask for a regen, and so we changed the delta pressure sensor, sorry. We changed the hydrocarbon doser, which is basically what people call the 7th injector, and at this point it hasn't asked for a regen since it's been about 2.5-3 days. And so I think it's cured. I think this one put some new tires on the steer axle, and she should be ready next week. I have another truck that developed a misfire. I think I mentioned it in the video, and it's been down that long. It had a bad misfire number 6. It was a hard misfire. I might have a video clip of that. Anyway, so we ordered 6 injectors for it, what they call an injector pack and injector cups. That truck has 690,000 miles, and so for that time frame, it's kind of typical on these motors. Even though the last truck I was driving had 900 and change still on the original injectors, anything after 600,000 for these things, it's not uncommon. From the factory, they put the wrong material of injector cup, and then for some reason Volvo only puts an O-ring at the very bottom, and so as the injector cup over time kind of warps and disfigures a little bit, the seal is compromised and they fail. They don't fail like they're broken, but they fail like they let compression out, and you know, it progressively gets worse. So that truck went into the shop, and Upon opening up the top end of the engine, we discovered it had a damaged cam lobe. I think I have a picture of that. I'll insert it. Anyway, and so we ordered a cam for it. They're not cheap. I want to say 22 to 2,500 bucks plus the labor. And because these are European motors, the design of their engine is such that they're made to be installed in what they call cab overs. And so you don't see cab overs much anymore in the US. Most of the trucks here are what they call conventional body style. And so in a conventional body style, you end up with the cab structure, and in front of it is a hood. That's where the engine sits, and the hood opens up and you can access stuff there. And so a cab over, the easiest way to describe it is the windshield is lined up with the bumper, and that's where the driver sits. The full term is cab over engine. So basically your cab sits directly on top of your engine. So instead of having a space between the driver and the passenger seat, you have this big hump, and your engine is inside of that hump. And so those trucks are designed to be serviced by the whole cab tilts forward, and you kind of service those from the rear. So on these motors, what they call the gear set, so the gears that connect your crankshaft to your oil pump and your fuel pump and your air compressor and your cam, those gear sets are in the back, so that when you have to service them, you tip the cab forward and you can access those from the back. Anyway, when they're put in trucks like these, the drawback is you can't just lift the cab, and so what people do is they drop the transmission. Yeah. So in that particular truck, we're into it. By into it, I mean we got money in this. So it's like 2,500 bucks for the injectors, another 2,500 bucks for the cam. When we dropped the transmission, we realized, oh, hey, look, this clutch is pretty well gone at, whatever it has, 600,000-700,000 on it. We could put it back together with the other clutch. It's serviceable, but within a year I'd be dropping that transmission again. It only makes sense. It's already out. Go buy the part, throw it in, and you have a new clutch. Plus, since you taken the thing apart, and you basically contaminate the oil with the fuel when you pull the injectors out and whatnot. So oil change, fuel filter change, oil filter change, coolant filter change, coolant. That truck also needed tires anyways. And so yeah, we're probably close to 10 grand into that truck. There's a viewer a new subscriber that posted a question. I had commented on Tow Piglet's video regarding cost per mile, and how the cost per mile on a hotshot rig is very similar to that in a semi truck. It is, and I've been saying it for a while to people, that you're allowing brokers to tell you that your operating cost is cheaper when you run a hotshot rig. It's actually not true. Your operating cost is very, very similar, except for the fact that in the long run, the depreciation and the wear and tear on a pickup truck makes it where you have to continually replace those vehicles. And so the truck I'm sitting in now is a 2012. It's got 730,000 miles on it. We haven't had to do any engine work or stuff like that. It's paid for. And so when I get out and run, let's just say short hauls, you get between $4 and $5 a mile. The longer hauls are closer to $3. I'm making pretty decent money, but my operating cost is not like a hot shot where we're within 15 to 20 cents a mile difference. Now, if you've watched the Tow Piglet channel, his operating cost is based on making a monthly rental payment to Enterprise. I don't have a monthly payment. My truck's paid for, and so my operating cost is lower than what he listed there. And getting anywhere between $3 and $5 a mile means I'm putting more money in my pocket. The fuel efficiency between a pickup truck and a rig is astonishing. These pickup trucks, they load them, sometimes up to 40,000 pounds, and these guys are getting 8, 7, in some cases I know car haulers that say they get 5 miles to the gallon. And so these these Macs with the Volvo powertrain in them, if you run 62 miles an hour, we can get 7 out of them. We can get 7 miles to the gallon. Now, when we're running tight on schedule on a short haul where you have to pick up in the morning, drop off the same afternoon, and it's 500 miles away, you got to run harder. You got to run 70 plus, or when you pick up at 4 in the afternoon and they expect you at 6 in the morning, 500 miles away, you gotta open her up and let her eat, as they say. And so in those cases, yeah, you'll get 5 miles or $5. I can speak, guys. I promise. You'll get 5 miles per gallon, but if you're getting $5 a mile, you can afford it. Anyway, and so I'll do a little video on kind of comparing big rig operating costs versus your pickup. I'm not going to do as fancy a breakdown as Toe Piglet did. Alex over there does a really good job of breaking down, like, by the penny what every mile costs. I'm going to do more like a comparison video, but the biggest takeaway, even as I say it here, the truck I'm sitting in now, I paid $20,000 for it, and the way it sits in today's market with the shortage of trucks coming off the factory, I could probably sell it for 30. And I've had it 3.5 years. I've put 100,000 miles on it since I bought it. I bought it used, obviously, and you can't do that with a pickup truck. There's just no way around that. You buy yourself, if I go down to the dealership right now and buy myself a 2021 F350, I think it's a mistake. Some of these guys buy these things fully loaded. I would get like an XLT package and get it a little bit more plain Jane, but some of these guys are getting the King Ranch with the leather everything and the big moonroof and the huge screen on the dash. I get it. I mean, if you're gonna be stuck in the truck, be in comfort, but I'd rather have this sleeper back here as comfort than to pay for bells and whistles that when it comes time to lay down and go to sleep, do nothing for you. But that's just my own opinion. You buy one of those things, let's say 60 grand, and if you finance it over 60 months, let's just say you got 0% interest, you're paying $1,000 a month on this vehicle, but you're doing 10,000 miles on it. So you fast forward 3 years, you've got 300,000 miles on it, and you still owe 30 to 40,000 on it. No one's going to give you that for it. That's just the bottom line. No one's going to give you that for it. And if you run it all 60 months till you pay the thing off, now you've got over 500,000 miles on it. They're just not reliable. They're not built to last that long. Even though I just got finished describing the expense we're putting into truck 742 with the cam and the clutch and everything else, that truck should be good for another 500,000 miles once we do that. The compression tests are good. The oil sample we took before the misfire happened was good. We're not getting heavy metals or coolant or combustion into the oil, and so I have no reason to believe that engine's going to be letting go anytime soon. And so it's still a viable truck, just like this one. And I still got a few more sitting sitting at the yard that I could put together. It just takes time when they sit that long. You know, you really do got to go through them with the fine-tooth comb and make sure everything works. And that's kind of the process we're in. I don't see myself putting a whole bunch of equipment back to work in oil field, at least not anytime soon. Last couple of reports I've read, they're expecting oil to stay like at 70 bucks on the high side through the end of the year. I think for me to go back, it needs to be in the 80s, and the rate for the trucks need to be in the 80s. So I'm probably going to continue to put trucks over the road. The rates are good. A lot of hot shotters are complaining that, you know, rates are horrible. That's because they've saturated their own market. There's way too many hot shot trucks for the amount of freight that needs to move in that market. Here we are in what should have been the slow season for dry vans, and I'm talking to buddies where my dry vans are billing better than their flatbeds are. Wintertime is supposed to be when flatbeds are slow and dry vans stay busy because, you know, the holidays are approaching. We've stayed solid the whole time through, so I don't anticipate changing. I got one truck that we're going to drop an engine in, 636. It's probably got the best spec in terms of all these. It's got the heaviest duty transmission. It's got better gear ratios. I was thinking about making that a heavy haul truck. I'm not really sure I want to at this point. The rates are pretty solid for dry van. I may just stick with this for at least through the end of the year. But anyways, so the other reason I haven't really posted up any videos is, and I know that's what a lot of you guys are curious about, the whole Amazon thing. Amazon changed the application. They changed the format on it. They kind of forced you to update it, or they won't let you look at loads anymore, and makes it harder to see loads. I thought it was just me, but as I read, you know, in the groups, people are saying, hey, what happened to all the loads? And then a couple people have been posting that Amazon is now shifting their loads as a preferred method to do a post a truck. And so the problem with that is, as I open up the load board and try to look at a market that I know should have a couple hundred loads, you'll see 10 or 20. And so I believe that the videos that I've done for you guys in the past are going to be less meaningful. Over the last month, every time I try to sit down and look at the load board, I'm like, well, this doesn't make sense. You know, let me figure out what I'm doing wrong, because I'm going to post like something scary. Hey, there's only 10 loads in Los Angeles, and scare a bunch of people away, or have them say, man, that guy's an idiot. He doesn't even know how to use the application. But the more I read and I communicate with other people that are on Amazon Relay, they all kind of say the same thing. They're like, yeah, if you want to stay busy, you need to post a truck, and then they just assign you a job. And so I'm not sure if my videos are going to be a resource to as many of you anymore. The next video I'll post up a load board review. One of my childhood friends has a daughter that posted on one of the groups and wants to get into the box van side of it. She has questions, you know, and so I think I'll do a review in her market and kind of describe a little bit from what I see. But honestly, I'm just not sure I can see the entire market anymore, and so I'm not sure if that's going to be beneficial to you guys. The video I just uploaded earlier today, I actually did like a month ago, and it sat on my phone waiting to be uploaded for the whole month, because I've just not put any together. Every time I would look at the application for a relay, it's like, this doesn't make sense. That, and of course I've been busy. The truck we did all that work to after we got the cam and everything in, we haven't been able to get it started. Maybe I'll do a little video on it. I think Monday it'll finally start. It's been down for a month and we've been scratching our heads, but I think we figured it out. I think I'll make that a separate video. I'll try and do a review sometime this weekend of the load boards. The box truck loads should have loaded up over the last couple days, and so we'll see if that market looks any good. The loads for trailer required tend to load up Sunday night for the week. At least that was the pattern back when we were hauling for them. We're still using our service with our dispatch service with Smart Hop. I do want to kind of make a dispatch video, not specific to Smart Hop, but more a video to kind of help new dispatchers. A lot of new dispatchers are coming into the market because it's kind of a work from home thing, and a lot of them are a little bit misled on how much money you can generate, and they're coming in not understanding what's called the lanes. They're a little bit misguided and misinformed, and in some cases they don't have the industry knowledge to understand if you get a truck, $3 a mile, but it's going to Denver, Colorado, $3 a mile is too cheap, because you're going to leave Denver at $1 a mile if you can find a load at all. Or, likewise, let's just say a load to Seattle, Washington, or Miami, Florida. Those are just lanes that are dead ends. You have to make really good money going in, because you're going to not make money coming out. So for example, I'm sitting in West Texas now. If someone were to offer me a load into Miami, Florida, I'd want to get $5 or $6 a mile, because you're going to leave Miami empty or under $2 a mile to get into Atlanta and hope for the best. And that's just kind of the nature of how some markets are. And I think a lot of the dispatchers go into a load board and they start looking for loads, and they, on groups, hear people say, you need to make $3 a mile or better. And so they see a load at $3 a mile and they think, oh look, hey, I found the holy grail, and they start trying to post the load. And the reality is, no, you want $3 a mile as an average, all in other words, including your deadhead. And so if you're going to a market like Miami and you want to make $3 a mile, let's just say you're 1,000 miles from Miami, you got to get 4 going in, because you're going to get 2 coming out, and then your average will be 3. And so they're thinking, oh hey, I found $3 a mile. It's still not a winner. And I think I'm gonna do a video on dispatch service, kind of a guide to new dispatchers to help them understand kind of what markets are, and why as carriers or owner operators we sometimes are leery of dispatch services, especially dispatch services to claim that they have work. When you see a post that says, hey, I have work for power only, here's the thing: a dispatcher works for me. I'm the carrier, and I'm contracting you to work for me. And so what that means is, like my existing dispatch service, I call them up and say, hey Gabriel, I got a truck that's ready, this is where it is, drivers determined to stay out 2 to 3 weeks, and so let's follow the best rate possible. The driver's willing to go anywhere, just best rate possible. And so my dispatch service then goes to look at the emails that have been coming in where regular brokers are saying, I got loads. They check load boards, and they call some of their preferred brokers that already have an experience with my company, and they look for the best rate. That's what they're supposed to do, because I'm paying them to do that. But what some dispatchers are doing is they're claiming to have a load already, and they say, oh, looking for a carrier to fulfill this load. So as a carrier, my dispatch service represents me, my company, and they're faithful, or their obligation is to me and my rate. So when a dispatcher says, I have this load, as a carrier, I ask myself, well, why do you have this loyalty to this load? Why why are you affiliated with this load? You represent me, but you're posting on Facebook that you have this load. And so you have to ask yourself, is there something unscrupulous or under the table going on where you're being kicked back money? And the broker's like, I got $5 a mile in this, get 4, and I'll split the difference with you in cash. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but as a carrier, I certainly question it. And so when you post or represent a load, as a carrier, I'm leery. Anyway, and so I want to make a video on that. There's a few that I want to try and get together and get posted up and help a few people out. Over the weekend, I'm going to dig and scratch into the Amazon app. I just don't think those videos are going to be as helpful to you guys, the way they've structured it. I do know quite a few people are complaining that, their work is drying up, especially in the box truck market. I've been saying it for a while. Box truck is kind of a seasonal thing. And if you're going to get into that, I've said it multiple times, you're getting into the trucking business. You're not getting into the Amazon business. And so if you feel like you want to buy a box truck because Amazon, and you watch all these videos and that's every other word out of their mouth, Amazon, 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 you need to understand that you are a tool to Amazon and you're not always needed. And when it slows down, I posted a comment the other day on someone had a comment or they had made a statement about how carriers are doing, and my comment was, the problem is there's a lot of brand new carriers that go into business and they bring an employee mindset. You can't look at this thing, trucking in general, whether you're, like us, over the road working for brokers, or you're, on Amazon Relay, or, you're leased onto someone. You can't look at this thing like an employee and believe that you're guaranteed a paycheck every week. It's an at-will business relationship, and you're gonna be used as much as you're needed. No one's gonna guarantee you, $10,000 a week in revenue. Doesn't work that way. You've got to hustle your $10,000 a week, and $10,000 a week is kind of a low number. You really need to be closer to 12. If you can't hit $12,000 a week, 2 to 3 weeks out of the month, you're doing something wrong. Either you're not looking for the right work, and when I say that, I mean over the road work. Obviously your local guys that are home every night, they can afford a lower number because they're not parked at some truck stop, eating truck stop food, idling the truck all week. Your expenses go up when you're over the road, and your fuel prices fluctuate, yada yada yada, and so you need a bigger number. A stay home, local truck that runs short haul exemption, for example, you can afford to survive that on less. 7,000 a week is a decent number. Anyway, so I got a few videos I'm going to put together. I just wanted to do a little catch up with you guys, and kind of apologize for going AWOL on you. My videos aren't intended to be like these greatly produced, high end. I mean, I'd like to get to that point, but for the most part, it's just me sharing years of experience around these trucks and doing business. I know my formatting and editing is horrible, but primarily I'm trying to help you guys get started or get a leg up from where you are. The last month has been really busy for me. I hired a driver and she took my old truck 744. She's got a delivery Monday Fort Worth, Fort Wayne, Indiana. My apologies. And so, you know, she took that truck, but in the middle of me hiring her, she took a little vacation because she hadn't taken one in a while. And so I jumped out of that truck and then back into that truck. And in between that, I've been working on this one. I've been working on the one that's not starting, that we dumped a bunch of money into. And then I have a third one that we're going to drop an engine into, and I was contemplating making that a heavy haul. And so I've been kind of busy and going crazy. I've got tons and tons and tons of little short snippets where, you know, I make a short little video and then I sit there and I'm like, I was going to put this together with something else and now I don't remember. And so my phone's full of all these little, I probably got like 100 short 5-minute to 10-minute, you know, I'm going to talk about this and then put it together with this video. And I got a whole bunch of stuff I either need to delete and start over. Anyway, but I'm hoping by Monday I'll have a couple more videos uploaded. I just wanted to chime in, say hi. I have been getting, you know, messages from some people either on Facebook or you know, here on YouTube, some comments, and you know, I haven't been able to get back to everyone, and if I started to, I never finished the video, and so my apologies. Right now is Saturday night, and tomorrow I have absolutely nothing I can do. The shop where I have the other 2 trucks are closed. But the only thing I could do is work on this particular truck a little bit more. I got a few things I'm still missing. Some DOT stickers for the back of the cab, the reflectors on the mud flaps. There's a couple other things I can work on for this truck tomorrow. Hopefully I get up bright and early before it gets crazy hot and I can get that done. But I just want to touch base, say hello to everybody, let you know I'm still alive and kicking like Bruce Lee. Just been kind of crazy, busy, not able to, I mean, normally when I make these videos, I'm sitting in the sleeper and I'm on a run and I'm either on a 10-hour reset or a 34, and you know, that's when I'd have time to do these. But over the last month, you know, between running back and forth at home, jumping in the truck for a week and a half, and then trying to work on these, it's just been a little hectic. I've not been trying to ignore you guys, it's just been crazy. Anyways, as always, thanks for the love and support. Thanks for watching, and I'll try and crank out a few of these videos that I just mentioned. Hopefully it helps you guys. I'm gonna look at the Amazon thing. If any of you guys are on Amazon and you're noticing what I'm noticing, comment below and let me know what you're doing about it. Is post a truck the best option for you, or is it just I'm not seeing loads because I don't book loads with them? They may have tweaked their algorithm a little bit to reward the guys that, you know, that take loads daily, and you know, the market opens up a little bit more to you, and maybe that's finally affecting me. I heard from people before that, oh well, once you start booking loads you see more of them. I never really felt that I wasn't seeing loads, but now all of a sudden, for example, if I log into LA, there's like under 10 loads for the whole market, and that, I know that's not right. I know there's more loads out there. But anyways, as always guys, thanks for watching.